Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to speak of a tale that transcends the boundaries of mere words. It is a story not just of melody, but of a profound realization that exists within the silence of the heart. This is a story about the eternal truth, the unseen force that guides each of us, a force that has been named Alakh Niranjan. Alakh Niranjan is not just a name, it is an experience, a state of being. It represents the unmanifested, the beyond, the ever-present reality that lies just beyond the veil of our physical perception. And how can one explain such a reality? Is it not through music, through sound, through the reverberations that carry our souls closer to this eternal truth? This is not a tale woven with mere notes and rhythms, but with the pulse of life itself. Music, when approached with the right intent, has the power to take us to places words alone cannot. It can pierce through the layers of the material, awaken the dormant spaces within us, and ignite a flame of awareness that has always been there, but is often forgotten. Alakh Niranjan is a call to that flame, an invitation to leave behind the noise of the world and enter into the stillness where all things are understood. It is not about seeking the truth, but allowing the truth to find you through surrender, through devotion, through the heart's deepest longing. In this musical journey, one does not merely listen, one becomes the music. Every beat, every melody is a reflection of the inner rhythm of life, and as we align ourselves with it, the distinction between the self and the universe blurs. It is a journey of surrender, a dance with the infinite, where the soul is free to express itself in its most pure form. But let us not be mistaken. This is not an easy journey. It demands discipline, patience, and an openness to be transformed. To experience the true essence of Alakh Niranjan is to experience the melting of the ego, the dissolving of the self. It is a process of remembering, of shedding layers, of becoming who you always were but had forgotten. So as we embark on this heartrending musical story, let us remember that it is not the sounds we hear, but the silence between them that speaks the loudest. It is in this silence, this stillness, that we may come face to face with Alakh Niranjan, the eternal, the boundless, the ultimate truth. Alakh Niranjan is not a simple concept or a fleeting idea. It is an experience that transcends time and form. It is the very essence of the unmanifest, the ultimate truth that lies beyond the grasp of our senses. In the vast expanse of the cosmos, there is a force, a presence, a being, if you will, that moves through everything, yet is never truly seen. Alakh Niranjan represents that which cannot be described, touched, or fully understood by the mind. It is not bound by physical reality, and it is not confined to any one place or time. It is the unseen thread that weaves through all things, holding together the vastness of existence. To experience Alakh Niranjan is to step beyond the boundaries of the ego, to transcend the limitations of what we believe ourselves to be. It is to move past the illusions of the material world and enter into a space of infinite possibility. This experience does not come through force, through seeking, or through intellectual understanding. It comes through the surrender of the self, through letting go of what we think we know, and through the willingness to be receptive to that which is beyond our comprehension. It is in this state of surrender that Alakh Niranjan makes itself known. When the mind quiets, when the heart opens, when the senses are no longer tethered to the external world, we begin to feel its presence. It is subtle, almost imperceptible, yet unmistakably real. It is like the breeze that brushes past you in the early morning, light, refreshing, and invisible to the eye, yet profoundly experienced in the heart. The experience of Alakh Niranjan is not bound by logic or reason. It is a visceral knowing, an intuitive awareness that goes beyond the intellect. When one enters into this space, there is no longer any separation between the self and the universe. You are the ocean, the sky, the stars, and the earth. You are the sound, the silence, the movement, and the stillness. In that moment, everything is interconnected and the illusion of separateness fades away. But this experience does not come as a one-time revelation. It is not something that can be captured in a single instant. It is a process, a continuous unfolding, like the petals of a flower opening to the light of the sun. With each moment, with each breath, the layers of the self dissolve and the deeper truths reveals itself more clearly. The more one surrenders, the more one is able to receive the wisdom of Alakh Niranjan. It becomes less about the search and more about allowing. To truly experience Alakh Niranjan is to live in harmony with the universe, to move with the flow of existence rather than against it. It is a life of deep alignment, where every action, every word and every thought is a reflection of that ultimate truth. The experience is not something that can be contained or defined, for it is boundless, limitless and ever-expanding. It is an experience that is always present, waiting patiently for us to open our hearts and minds to its depth. When you begin to feel the presence of Alakh Niranjan, you understand that there is no need to search for it has always been with you. It is not separate from you, but an intrinsic part of your very being. In truth, Alakh Niranjan is not something that exists outside of you, it is the very nature of who you are. Music is a force unlike any other. It is not bound by language, by culture or by time. Its power lies in its ability to transcend the limitations of the human experience, to reach deep into the soul and stir something ancient within. Music speaks directly to the heart, bypassing the intellect and the ego, allowing us to experience the world in a way that words or actions alone cannot. There is something profoundly human about music, something that connects us to each other and to the universe in a way nothing else can. It carries with it an energy that resonates with the very core of our being. When we listen to music, we are not just hearing sounds, we are feeling them. Music has the ability to evoke emotions, to awaken memories, and to transport us to a different place or time. It can bring tears to our eyes, make our hearts race, or calm our minds. It has the power to touch the deepest corners of our souls and bring us face to face with our innermost truths. This is the magic of music. It is a language that speaks directly to the heart, a language that does not require translation or explanation. In its purest form, music is a reflection of the divine rhythm that moves through all of life. Just as the heartbeat of the universe pulses in a continuous flow, music mirrors this rhythm, inviting us to sync with the cosmic dance. It is the sound of creation itself, vibrating at frequencies that align with the very essence of existence. When we immerse ourselves in music, we are aligning ourselves with the natural flow of the universe, tuning into the vibrations that govern everything around us. But music is not only an external experience, it is also an internal one. It has the power to transform us, to shift our energy and consciousness. The right melody or rhythm can open doors within the mind, unlocking spaces that were previously closed off. It can dissolve barriers, quiet the mind, and create an atmosphere in which deep reflection and insight can arise. Music has a unique ability to alter our state of being, to elevate us from the mundane to the extraordinary, from the surface to the depths. In the context of spiritual growth, music becomes a pathway. It is a tool for meditation, for introspection, and for inner awakening. Certain sounds and frequencies have been used for centuries to help individuals connect with higher states of consciousness, to reach beyond the limitations of the material world and tap into the infinite. Through music, we can align our energies, harmonize our internal rhythms, and experience a sense of unity with the universe. It becomes not just something we listen to, but something we become a part of, something that opens us up to the unseen dimensions of reality. The power of music is not just in its ability to move us emotionally, but in its potential to reveal deeper truths. It can serve as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, a medium through which the intangible can be experienced. Music can strip away the layers of illusion, drawing us closer to the essence of who we are. It has the capacity to awaken dormant energies within us, to help us remember that we are more than just bodies and minds. We are beings of light, of sound, of infinite potential. When music is played or sung with intention, it can become a prayer, a form of devotion, an offering to the divine. It becomes a sacred act, a way to connect with the higher realms, to express gratitude and to align with the greater forces of the universe. The vibrations created by music carry with them a frequency that can affect not just the listener, but the space itself, infusing it with a transformative energy. Music in its truest form is a spiritual force that transcends the boundaries of the physical and connects us to something far greater than ourselves. Ultimately, the power of music lies in its ability to guide us home. It leads us back to the truth of who we are, reminding us that we are part of something vast and eternal. It helps us transcend the limitations of the ego, dissolving the illusion of separation and allowing us to experience the oneness of existence. Through music, we touch the infinite, we connect with the divine, and we are reminded that everything at its core is a symphony, a beautiful, harmonious expression of the universe itself. There are moments in life when words simply fail to capture the essence of an experience. No matter how carefully we choose our language, there are depths of emotion, truth and existence that transcend what can be articulated. These moments reveal that the most profound aspects of life cannot be contained within the confines of our vocabulary or the limitations of human expression. Words, despite their beauty and power, are only symbols. They are tools for communication, yes, but they are not the full measure of reality. They are fragments of something far greater, pointing towards a truth that cannot be fully grasped by the mind. The world we live in is much more than what we can see, hear, touch or speak about. It is a tapestry of experiences, emotions and energies that cannot always be reduced to logical concepts. We may understand something intellectually, but that understanding does not necessarily touch the heart. We may describe beauty, but we can never truly capture the vastness of a sunset or the quiet stillness of a forest at dawn with words alone. In these moments, we are reminded that the true essence of life exists beyond the limits of verbal communication. There is a language that exists beyond words, a language that speaks directly to the soul. It is the language of feeling, of intuition, of direct experience. This language is not confined to thought or logic. It is present in the very fabric of reality, woven into the patterns of nature, the rhythms of the cosmos and the silences between sounds. It is the language of the heart, the language of the spirit, and it is available to us when we are willing to listen with more than just our ears. In the moments when words fall short, we come to understand that there is more to the world than what meets the eye. It is in the silence, in the spaces between words, that the true meaning of life often emerges. It is the unspoken connection between two people, the glance that conveys more than 1,000 words could, or the sense of peace that fills a room without a single sound. This language, this communication happens on a level far beyond what we consciously recognize. It is a deep resonance, a shared understanding that cannot be articulated but is felt all the more intensely for its wordlessness. When we are able to move beyond words, we enter a realm where the divisions between the self and the world begin to dissolve. It is in this space that we can experience the interconnectedness of all things. Without the need for labels or definitions, we begin to sense the oneness of existence. There is no longer the me and the you, the here and the there. There is only the flow of energy, the pulse of life, the rhythm of the universe. It is a place of deep unity where all that we perceive is revealed as interconnected and whole. The experience of being beyond words is also an experience of surrender. It is a recognition that the mind, in its desire to categorize, control and define, can only take us so far. To truly experience life, we must release the need for constant analysis and allow ourselves to feel, to intuit and to simply be. It is in surrendering the need to explain that we open ourselves up to the deeper truths of existence. In this surrender, we touch something timeless, something that is always present but cannot be captured in the fleeting words we speak. This space beyond words is not just an escape from language, it is a return to the essence of who we are. In the silence, we encounter ourselves in our most authentic form, without the clutter of societal expectations, without the limitations of roles and identities. We simply exist as we are, whole, complete and interconnected with the vastness of life itself. We come to know that we are not just the sum of our words, our actions or our thoughts. We are an experience, a presence, a vibration, a part of the eternal flow of the universe. Beyond words, there is a deeper understanding, a recognition of truth that does not require validation or explanation. It is a knowing that comes from within, a truth that resonates in every cell of our being. This truth is not something we can prove or disprove with logic, it simply is. It is felt, not thought about. It is the space of direct experience, where we encounter the essence of life, of existence and of the infinite. Ultimately, the realm beyond words is where we find the freedom to be. When we step beyond the need to label, to define or to explain, we enter into a space of pure experience. Here we can simply be, not as the roles we play or the identities we cling to, but as the truth of who we are, in connection with all that is. And in that space, we encounter something beyond explanation, beyond reason, a reality that is too vast, too profound to be captured in any language. It is the ineffable, the unspeakable, the infinite that surrounds us, and we are a part of it. The silence of the heart is not simply the absence of sound, nor is it a quiet that can be easily described or understood. It is a profound stillness that transcends the noise and distractions of the outer world, a sacred space within where the noise of the mind and the turbulence of emotions quiet down. In this silence, there is a deep sense of peace, an inner stillness that remains untouched by the chaos around us. It is a silence that speaks louder than words, one that carries within it the wisdom of the universe. To experience the silence of the heart is to return to a state of purity, where the layers of identity, fear and expectation are shed. It is a space where there is no judgment, no analysis, no striving. It is simply an openness, a presence, where the heart beats in harmony with the rhythm of existence. In this silence, the heart does not yearn for anything because it recognizes that it is already whole. It knows that all it seeks is already within, and there is nothing to attain, nothing to prove. The restlessness of the mind, the constant chatter of desire and ambition falls away, leaving only the profound simplicity of being. This silence is not emptiness, it is full of meaning, full of life. It is in this silence that the deepest truths are revealed. When the distractions of the mind are quieted, the heart can listen to the whispers of the soul. In this space, there is no need for external validation, for the heart speaks its own language. It is here that we encounter our true self, unclouded by the projections and expectations that society places upon us. The silence of the heart is where we reconnect with the essence of who we are, beyond the roles we play and the identities we wear. It is said that the heart has its own intelligence, its own form of knowing. When we drop into the silence of the heart, we begin to understand that this intelligence is not intellectual. It does not come through logic, reasoning or the analysis of the mind. Instead, it arises from a deeper knowing, a wisdom that can only be felt, not thought about. It is the kind of knowing that transcends words, that moves beyond explanations, and yet is more accurate and profound than any rational thought could be. In this silence, we tap into the infinite wisdom that resides in every living being, a wisdom that is universal and timeless. This heart silence is also where true compassion and love emerge. Without the noise of the ego and the incessant need for control, we open ourselves to others with an authenticity that is often hard to find in the world. When the heart is silent, it is no longer bound by fear or judgment. It simply flows with the natural rhythm of love. In this space, we are able to connect with others on a soul level, beyond the superficial differences and the stories we tell about ourselves. The silence of the heart is the birthplace of unconditional love, the love that is not dependent on circumstances or expectations but flows freely, without limitation. The silence of the heart is not something we can force or fabricate. It arises naturally when we are willing to stop, to be still and to listen. It requires us to let go of our constant striving, our need to fill every moment with activity or noise. In the stillness, we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to be open to whatever arises without needing to control or interpret it. We must create space for this silence to give ourselves permission to simply be. It is only when we embrace this silence that we can truly hear the whispers of the heart, that we can tune into the deeper currents of life that guide us. This silence is also the space where the universe speaks. When we are attuned to the silence of our hearts, we are no longer disconnected from the natural world around us. The heart becomes a conduit for the unseen forces of the universe, and in this stillness, we begin to recognize the interconnectedness of all things. The pulse of life flows through us, and we begin to experience ourselves not as separate from the world, but as an integral part of the greater whole. The silence of the heart reveals to us that we are never truly alone, that we are always held in the embrace of something much larger than ourselves. In moments of deep silence, we also touch the eternal. This silence is the space where time fades away, where the boundaries of past, present and future dissolve. It is in this silence that we realize that life, in this sacred space, we transcend the illusion of separateness and tap into the timeless flow of existence. The silence of the heart carries us beyond the fleeting concerns of the material world and opens us to the eternal truth that exists beyond all that we can see or touch. It is in this silence that we truly experience the fullness of life. To experience the silence of the heart is to experience the fullness of who we are. It is to reconnect with the divine within us, to live with an openness and clarity that can only arise from a place of stillness. In this space, there is no fear, no confusion and no doubt. There is only presence, only the knowing that we are part of something vast, something eternal and something infinitely beautiful. It is in the silence of the heart that we come to realize that all we seek, all we need is already here, in the present moment, in the stillness. As we come to the end of this journey into the silence of the heart, let us carry with us the understanding that this silence is not something distant or separate, it is within us, always present, waiting for us to pause, to listen and to reconnect. In this silence there are no boundaries, no divisions, only the pure essence of existence. It is in the stillness that we find our true selves, beyond the noise of the world and the illusions of the mind. So, let us embrace the silence of the heart, for it is here that we discover the deepest truths of life, where love, compassion and wisdom flow freely. It is here that we remember we are not separate from the universe, but deeply interconnected with all that is. May we learn to return to this silence, to rest in its peace and to allow it to guide us in every moment. In the end, it is in the quiet spaces between the words, in the stillness between the breaths, that the most profound experiences of life unfold. May we live in such a way that we are always attuned to this sacred silence, allowing it to guide us, to heal us and to reveal the deeper purpose of our being. Thank you.